I mean, that was like the first thing from psychology that just slapped me in the face. Was like, you're not actually in the world, mate. You live in a tiny slither of the world based on your own biases, and that's the way it'll always be. So you better pick those biases and curate those biases wisely to see the good and to see what really matters.
Do you think it has to be this kind of closed off view of perception though? Like, is there kind of any kind of expansion of, I suppose that would be what psychedelics did for me, the expansion of perception and
Oh, 100%.
the expansion of the world.
You can open more doors and you can become more aware and you can perceive more things. But if you got to the point where you opened up your perceptual systems and all the information and complexity of reality hit you, would blow your fucking head off. You wouldn't be able to withstand it, I don't think.
How many doors should you open then?
That's a good question, Jacob. Because why do we consider some people crazy? Because their reality is so different from ours that it feels like they are in a different dimension. Well, maybe they are. Maybe they've opened a different door of perception. The voices that they hear in their mind, we don't think are real just because the collective doesn't hear them, but they're experiencing them. So does that make them not real? It's interesting. I mean, it's like, that's why psychosis is so fascinating. People's reality fundamentally changes. And so how are we to discount that experience just because we aren't having it? And why do we then look at it through a negative lens? Well, probably because it brings harm to that person. And it's still very interesting. How many doors should you open? How aware should you become before it's too much? I don't know.
You're a very aware person.
Yeah,
do you want to expand that?
Yeah, and it kills me, Jake. It kills me. It does, because I struggle to relate to normal people a lot of the time. And when I go into certain contexts where I have to be a part of the jigsaw puzzle and perform the play of being Joel Clifton, whether that's in an educational environment as student, or whether I have to be basketball player or be son or be brother or whatever, and perform that function, I have to limit and put a box in who I really think I am inside, which is some sort of weird or aware spirit that's like perceiving this weird reality outside of themselves, and all of that feels so disconnected from some parts of my external life. So I don't know, maybe I've opened Pandora's box and that's it now. I'm cursed for the rest of my life to be this curious and this interested in shit that the world doesn't really look at, but I'm here now.
Well, Peterson's answer is you've got to go deeper.
Yeah.
Keep on getting more aware.
And that's something that I've had to adopt, mate, because for me, it's like, I can't then just pretend that I don't feel this way and live life. Like my soul will be deeply dissatisfied if I try and do that. So I have to go deeper to try and create my life around this stuff. It's like a higher purpose now.
But like, yeah, I think it's going to get to such a crazy level where like it's such a big like curse, and that's kind of the way Peterson is, and the way that he knows so much that has to be a colossal weight of stuff. Mm-hmm. Like it is. I mean, there's kind of on psychosis. Like, is it always bad or is it ever like good? Like people that have opened so many doors, but can that still be good? Do you think?
You can go to nicer places than your current reality through hallucinations and stuff. Sure. But it's still a difficult one to manage in terms of integrating yourself socially. I mean, you can go to nice places in a hallucination, but you're still hallucinating,
Maybe you should like open the doors slowly, and if you wanna shut them and go back, then well, actually, you probably don't want to shut them. Because as you say, like it would be bad for your soul if you want to be aware and stuff.
I don't think you can shut them, Jacob. If doors of perception open in your life, this is just a general point. You are changed permanently from that point. You can pretend and you can play along with normal society and act as if you believe different things, but fundamentally, you've changed.
So maybe just be slow and steady with how you open them.
Yeah, be aware of knowledge, man. It's powerful, but it's a crazy drug.
Because, yeah, I don't think when you don't want the complexity to... It's like when people say, once you see something, you can't unsee it.
Mm.
The complexity can hit you when you're not adjusted to it. It's like you wouldn't take 10 grams of mushrooms for your first time type of thing. So you want to kind of slowly open the doors, I think.
Well, do you know what I feel like is a general point, sort of maybe end this section, is to say the right way to approach this and it's something we talked about before, is to approach it from a perspective of playfulness. I have this desire to acquire this knowledge and investigate these philosophical and spiritual areas of life, but it's not that deep. Essentially, when you really break it down, it's just a bloke that's interested in stuff, and so I can satisfy that curiosity, but be playful with it. People that are willing to listen, talk about it, if not, make a joke about the fact I'm a nerd or whatever, and just dance along with that, rather than like stressing about it too much. And that's me saying that to myself.
I feel like with the playful point, there's a difference between a human doing and a human being. Like being playful is when you're being, but a lot of the time we're just doing it. We're just like we're not like there's the two ways to do an activity. It's like and I feel that's something I think I want to change, is be more than do.
Well, look, mate, last night, and I was quite proud of myself for this. Last night, I shredded my tyre, right? And now I'm on the side of the road for 2 hours, right, waiting for the RAC man to come and save me. Police are there, whatever, right? There are two perspectives I can take from that. One is get really pissed off with myself because I lost concentration and smacked the curb, right? And hate the fact I had to be there, long for being back home when I said I was going to be home, complain about the cold, complain about the hunger, complain about the fact I need to piss, all of this, and just be overall irritable for the police and the breakdown recovery people. Or it's happened, right? You're going to be in this situation. Why not try and fucking make the most of it? So I sat on the grass, I got my speaker out, I played some great music, I lay on the blanket that the policewoman gave me, and I did some stargazing. Tried to zone out. No, but it's real. You laugh, but that was it, mate. I was like, all right, I'm going to be here for like 60 to 90 minutes. I'm just going to chill out. Had a little chat with a policewoman, talked to her about life a bit. Just was playful with her, made a few jokes, smiled. She was like, you okay? I'm fine. I didn't die. I'm just pissed off because now I'm going to be late for my Chinese takeaway. You know what I mean? Just little bits of banter like that. And then the situation was fine, and I actually dealt with it fine and got home, didn't die. That was such a better perspective that I took.
No, mate, that's such a good thing to do. Like stargazing, that is the perfect, best thing you could do there.
It was a clear night. She was like, do you want a blanket? I was like, I'm not that cold, but can I lie on it and look at the stars? And then I said to her, you can lie down and join me if you want. And she said, if I wasn't working, I would. And I was like, that don't matter. The RAC aren't going to arrive for an hour. I won't tell anyone. Do you know what I mean? Played some nice old Christmas music and just tried to chill, man. Tried to just let go of the irritation, the gripping onto my reality. Like, oh no, I'm going to be home late, 3 hours later than I thought, and I've shredded another tyre, and all that sort of angst that can arise in the mind. No, let go of that. Just be, man. Just try and find the peace in it.
How did you feel when you were looking up in the stars? Kind of similar to the sunset and the beauty and the existential awe.
Well, I was just what hit me was the contrast of the world I was living in and the world going on around me. Of yes, I'd been a bit of a nuisance. I'd made a mistake. And then I was a hazard in the road because the left lane had to be sort of closed for a bit while my car was there. And you see irritated drivers having to slow down and maneuver past me. And I'm just lying there staring at the stars, listening to Bing Crosby sing Christmas songs. So it was nice, man. It was a way to polish a shit, make a poor situation that little bit better.